recording. Okay, I'm recording. Right. What will be the output of this?
So it's the same output.
Same.
Same
All
output. Let me try it out. Yes. So you get Kranti, Vivian, Vishnu Sai, and Shreya. Okay. So these are the two ways that you generally get this for loop like this. So one is you can directly say whether, see, in this case, see what is the thing that I am giving clearly. Better instead of I want to specify index. So I want to clearly write index. Sometimes in programming languages, index might be a keyword also. So in such case, I always prefer I instead of index. So one thing you need to remember, uh, for writing some code, keep your variables very precise, understandable, so that whoever is new to your programming, whoever is reading your program, then definitely he must be understanding that. So, what is the difference? Why could not I use I here for I in students? The reason is I want to print each student separately. So I'm directly getting each element in the students, and it is placed in student and printed it. Again, I get to the next element. This time Vivian will be coming. So this Vivian is copied into student. Then this student will be coming. This will be printed. Like what I have said every time, that initialization will be done and it will be given. So here the comparison, the increment is always automatic. You are not giving anything here. But see, in the downside, it is not about student. You're talking about the index numbers. That's why I have clearly given range 0 to length of student. So it's your turn to understand that this range will calculate from 0 to the length of your students is 4. Okay, so it will go from 0 to 3, because I always talked that this particular position is up to, this is not included, so 4 is not included, so 4 is not included. This will go from 0 to 3. What are these numbers 0 to 3? They are nothing but indexes. So students of 0 is Kranti, students of 1 is Vivian, students of 2 is Vishnu Sai, students of 3 is Shreya. That's all. Bas. We finished with this particular one. So the difference you see clearly here, why I have changed the variables. Here I am talking directly about the element value. That means Kranti, Vivian, Vishnu Sai, Shreya. Here I am talking about students index. Okay. These are the students index. So a list called students will have an index. One second. So here we have the students list and we have index. So I'm calling through index. I'm not directly calling the value. I'm calling the value through index. So that is the reason I changed the variables. This is one of the important aspects that you need to understand. Right. Let me erase this. I want to keep it in comment so that this will stay with my file. And now the next thing is we will talk about while loop. Okay, it's very simple that you can directly understand a while loop from your flowchart itself. Let's draw the flowchart for 1 to n numbers again. Let us compare with the program that I write one by one. Okay, let me go to the board here. Right. So I want to print the numbers 1 to n. So I need to take n also, right? So I will take I will assign first. So I will start it. The next thing I will do is I will assign n is equal to 10. I will assign I is equal to 1. So I'm starting with 1 and I am giving n is equal to 10. I want to give up to 10. Okay. So after that, what I will do, I will start a loop. Okay. The loop I will write like this. The next one is I am writing a condition. Okay. So what is the condition is that if I is greater than n, if I is greater than n, you need to stop it. Okay. If I is less than n, that means I greater than n is no, then what I do is I will just go for the output. That means put I, so I will be printed. Next thing is I increment, sorry, this is assignment, right? So I increment I, so I is equal to I plus 1. And after that, I go back to the loop and check again whether I is less than or so. So this is the end. Okay, this is what we have written. Now the same thing in Python I will write. Let me say how I will write in Python. Uh, I'll take some, okay, yellow color. So I will say I'm starting with n is equal to 10, I is equal to 1. Okay. Now instead of loop, I combine these two things now. You see how I will combine. The loop is while loop now. While. So what is the condition that we are giving is I greater than n. This is the condition. And because loops always have compound statement in it. What is a compound statement? One that resides in itself. For example, if there is a function like this, definition function, func something, we write colon because you write some instructions inside the function. These are called compound statements. This have one indentation line. This is what, okay? That means one tab. The same thing happens with the loops also. Whether it might be for loop or while loop, you have compound statements inside them. Okay, that is the reason I have a colon, and if I press, please somebody switch off your mic, it automatically goes for an indentation. Now it starts here to write. Okay, so in this, I clearly have given what is the next step, that is printing. Print I, that's all. That means put I, we have converted it into print I. Next, what I have written? This one. I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, finished. So until I is greater than n, it actually goes into this. No, I'm sorry. I think this is where I need to change. Can somebody suggest me what I need to change?
Greater
Here
than
we have
I
n.
less than n.
yes, I less than equal to n because I want to print from 1 to n, right? So I, a small change which we do not get it in Raptor, but we can write anyway. So I less than or equal to n, then we go inside. Okay, then we go inside and print I is equal to I plus 1. That is the small change that we have written because in Raptor there is a slight reverse in how we write the condition, but we now clearly give it like this. So I less than or equal to n, then only we come inside and print I is equal to I plus 1. These both statements will be executed the n number of times. So the statements get executed 1 to 10 times. So every time these statements execute, you will have a print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when something is getting printed onto the screen, it means that these two statements have executed already. Okay. And in the next loop, again it prints 2, I is equal to I plus 1 and goes to the next loop. Checks whether I is less than or equal to n, then print it again, then I is incremented and so on. This is how these things will be printed in while loop. I think it's so easy to understand. See, I just link up between them. So this is the statement, this is the statement, and this one is this statement, and this one is this statement, and this one is this statement. I think you can link up very easily. This is the end of the program. So removing start and stop from the flow chart, you'll get the whole Python program with a small change in the condition, which is equivalent. So in this, the equivalent is this one. So actually, in Raptor, what he has given in flowchart, generally we can write this one also. But the problem is in Raptor, he only says the S condition is stop and no condition is only this one. So we need to anywhere write the loop in a reverse order. So whatever that it is equivalent to this, we need to write here. That is the reason we have written. A small change in that can give you the answer. Let me try out in the code. So the same thing I will write. So n is equal to 1. So instead of this, shall we take the input so that we will get used to? So int of input. Why I'm writing int typecasting?
So that
Hmm.
convert string to yeah, it doesn't consider the string.
So input takes default string, so it will take string and convert it into integer. Can any string be converted into integer? Can any string
Strings
be
containing numbers.
Yes. The strings that only appear as numbers can only be converted into integers. So these are some questions that you get in theoretical aspects. So please be sure that you are ready for answering any question, whether it might be easy or tough. So enter the Okay, this is what I have entered. Okay, even we can take input in flowchart, but I have directly assigned for you to understand the example. Now, the greatest hero of our is our while loop for today's session. While loop. Right? This while I, it has already suggested to me, but I will use some other thing. I is less than or equal to. So you can give gap between the variables and the operator. That means two operands and the operator, but don't give gap between them. This is wrong. Okay. It doesn't understand why you are using both equal to and because equal single equal to is an assignment operator. Understand? So if you talk about I is equal to m, this is an assignment operator, right? Right. Okay. But if you say less than or something, this is a comparison operator. Okay, that these operators anyway we will discuss when we finish writing these programs once you are equipped with programming knowledge. So it might confuse whether I need to compare them or whether I need to assign something to somebody. So the right side value will be assigned to the left side, okay, variable. So it asks like that. But equal to combined with something is always a comparison operator. But equal to individually is an assignment operator. Do not give space between them. That's wrong. So this is correct. Now it says that less than or equal to. Now the next thing I will write is print I. Whatever I you have initially, then I is equal to I plus 1. I always give spaces between operand and operator. The reason is it looks good rather than completely writing combined. And you need to remember if you are giving it like this, the space is very important between while and the condition. The while indicates that you are now entering the loop. So you are telling the controller that you are now entering the loop and the condition should be satisfied to enter the loop. Okay. So this you are saying that you are now entering the loop in while, and this you are saying that to enter the loop, this condition needs to be satisfied. This I is less than or equal to n, right? And after this, we end the program. Print and sorry, end the program. Right?
Sir,
Yeah. Done.
shouldn't we assign I equal to 1 like that
Where you need to assign
before the loop or in before in? I
Yeah,
mean, before the loop we should assign.
yeah, I have given, right? Here, you're taking the input. So
So,
yeah,
okay, okay, yes, yes, sir, okay, sir.
dynamically we are taking the input.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Now let me save it and I will clear this terminal and I will write program Python 3 while dot py. Okay, enters the range. I am giving 10 as the range. So a small mistake I have done is I did not give colon or space. See how dirty it is to enter this. So extra space కూడా లేకుండా combine అయిపోయింది. No, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's the end of the program. Right. So this is one aspect that I want to give. And I now have a question. Now, I think once you practice, I will give you 5 minutes. You just write your own while loop in your VS Code first. Please do it fast.
Sir, if we want to skip one number between two consecutive, then what should we write, sir?
So you want to give alternative?
Yes, sir.
So 1, then 3, then 5, like
Yes, sir.
that. And then A is equal to I plus 2.
I plus 2.
Uh,
Hmm. This is actually we are giving continuously. You want to skip some numbers, the initialized value will be important, and then the number that you are writing, I is equal to I plus 2, I is equal to I plus 3, and so on.
hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
The
Thank
sequence
you.
will be, yeah. Agarwal, are you there here in this class?
Yes, sir.
Ah, I think you have asked about Coursera some course, right? Anyway, I did not specify it because now before the exams, I will give you some exercises for all of the people. Okay. So then I will tell you which course and which exercises you need to do in Coursera. Okay, along with the official thing. So that those marks will be considered very important after finishing these concepts. Okay, Agarwal?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I could not answer you because immediately I went to Vijayawada out of station, and then I really forgot all the professional activities
Okay.
there. Yeah. You can share the screen.
Yes, sir, please disable the,
I will enable it.
yeah, enable. Yeah. So this,
You are putting
Alert from
1 minute.
your disk is almost full.
Thank you very much. The first mistake that you have been doing is you see the line there, Dedipya, are you
uh,
seeing the line, the
yes,
print
sir.
and all? They are actually not touching the line, but they are out of the line. You just move to that line every statement first. No, not that one, not in while loop. In while loop, you carefully observe you have two lines. It is clearly indicating that you are out of indentation actually.
Okay,
Can
sir,
you,
I didn't get you.
yeah, can you just move those print and next statement I is equal to I plus 1 to the second line? No, put the cursor near print, put the cursor near print and just press one backspace. Yes.
Okay, okay.
And yes. The next mistake is whenever any statements comes under the indentation of the loop after the column. So now tell me how many statements are there in the loop accordingly? Vedipti?
4,
No, how many compound statements are there in the while loop according to our rule?
1, sir.
No. In the while loop, how many statements are coming under while loop? Can you tell
Okay,
me?
3 of them.
Three of them. That's why every time you are printing end. But you want
Yeah.
print end at the last. So do not put one indentation. Both.
Okay.
Yes.
It's under the while loop, no, sir? I put this
Yes.
print thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Now it's okay. Whether you
Okay.
give space or not, if it is not coming into indentation, then definitely it will execute as you wish.
So
You did not
again,
save it. You did not save it actually.
okay. Yeah.
Now run it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah, sir. I'll stop, sir. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
So I hope everybody has done it. Is it okay or should I wait? Anybody, if you say that you need to wait, I will wait. Shall I proceed? Okay. I
Yes.
Yes, I did not get any objection, so I'm proceeding. So the next concept is in this. Uh, I want, sorry, I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I want to skip 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 should be printed. So I think this is not the way you print, but I expect like in a vertical order. Okay, it's shown in a horizontal to understand that this is the output I want. So the output might be like this. Okay, uh, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm skipping 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Can anybody tell me what could be the logic behind this? Anybody can at least.
Sir, we can put an if clause inside the loop
Okay. Then
that if this number is equal.
mm. Put it.
But so then 10 will not come then.
No. He is correct. Inside the loop, he is telling it is if condition. So I will write the same thing again. So I will say, I'll just move up a little bit. Okay. So I will say n is equal to 10 and I is equal to 1. And I will say while the same condition and print I. Okay. And then I is equal to I plus 1. Right. This is the end of the program. Print end of program. Right. So this is the earlier case where we will print all the numbers, but I want to skip 5 at that particular thing. So some person has suggested. Who is this?
Sir, sorry.
Sure. So he has suggested I want to use a condition. Okay. So use a condition. Right. That's what he has suggested. Okay. According to his hint, I will say if I is equal to. So I'm checking the condition. If I is equal to 5. Right. I need to write some statements. How do I do that?
Pass.
Okay, pass. That's good. Next, if I is equal to 5, pass. So according to you, shall we execute the program and see? So I will say clear. Okay, I did not I did not close these things.
Can we use elif condition in that?
Yeah, we will try all those things. We will try. 1 minute. It's actually, yeah. Yes, sir. Uh, I want to just mask these things into something like this. Okay. Right. This is the thing that I need to open. Right. I will save it. Clear. Right. Yes, if pass is used, did you identify anything that has been changed to the previous output? So 1, 2, 3, 4,
No,
5.
sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So pass is not at all useful. Let me consider
So
pass.
not operator is not there in Python. The exclamation mark one.
You will have not operator, definitely. That also you can write. So not like that you can write, not equal to. And you can also say I is not. This is the other way that you can write. I is not 5. And this is an English type of algorithmic or pseudocode type of thing. But in programming, I generally prefer this one to be used instead of I is not. This is also possible. So I hope I want to reiterate that pass is nothing but it says there are no compound statements and the compound statements are intentionally kept empty. I hope you understand. So pass is not at all used in our programming. Not at all useful in our programming logic. So remove pass. Now, what could be the statements here? Any other logic from your side?
Sir, can we use
So
elif condition?
Yeah, I have already kept if condition. That's what I am saying. You need to fill up.
so if we put the condition to I is not equal to 5, then it's
Okay.
possible, right?
Okay, according to you, not equal to. And what are the compound statements that I need to write?
Print I. Print I.
Okay, right.
And the I equals to I plus 1 should be out of the if clause, sir.
So, according Saurat, right? It is Saurat saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, according to him, what is happening is he is entering the while loop. If he finds that I is not equal to 5, then he is printing. Okay. And can anybody tell me why he has preferred this I is equal to I plus 1 to be out of condition?
To
Why,
break the loop.
why can't I put inside this one? Why can't I put inside this one from here to here?
Because
Sir,
we
then
want to break.
If the condition
if
satisfies
the
only, then it
condition,
will
yeah.
change +1.
So
By outside,
if
we
it's
can.
not equal to 5 only, it will increment, right? Let us check what will happen if really it happens like that. Okay. If we are going against Saurat and I am saying why I want to listen to Saurat, I will do like this. Okay, let us check what will happen to this. Uh, what has happened?
It printed
So
on
the value has satisfied, and after that, it
Ah,
didn't enter the if clause.
then actually you can see it is continuously infinite. The program is not stopping. Have you observed? It came 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When it has seen 5, there is no increment. So it is not entering into this condition, right? So it is not bothering about this loop conditional statement. It is directly coming to this particular line. Okay, so it is coming here, right? So because there is no, see, my processor speed is also increased. It is highly pressing on its energy. The reason is it is continuously looping it. There is no I increment. So if it has encountered I is equal to 5, I is not, it is coming out of this condition and directly coming here. It doesn't see any increment. So every time I will be 5 only. So it doesn't know where to stop because 5 is always less than or equal to 10. Are you understanding what is happening? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. That is the reason I see here clearly identify that it is not ending. It is infinitely running, putting the i's value as 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 every time. If you want to see, let me show you after. I will just so I will write print I, then you will understand why, whether it is going to infinite loop or not. See, Oh, I did not save it. I did not save it. I'm sorry. So I majorly face this problem of not saving it every time. That's why I could easily identify the repeats. Yeah, see how many files are being printed. I could not even go up. I could not even go up. That is the reason. It stayed there. I just want to end it. Control. So I want to clear it. Yes. Okay. So this is the reason why he has preferred I is equal to I plus 1 to be outside the condition. So that means whether the condition is satisfied or not, the I should be incremented and I should do its duty of incrementing itself. And this is the reason why Saurath has preferred this one. Okay. So let me save it and execute it according to you. Now we will check whether it will come with our expected output or not. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's good. That's good. We have got our output. Okay. And I will show you another alternative to what you people have suggested to me like this. So let me put it into this. Now I'll write the same program again. I is equal, sorry, I will say n is equal to 10. That means the range. I can also write a range, that's also better. I means initial value. And here I will write while I less than or equal to n. Okay, sorry. And this time I will say, I will use the same condition but in a reverse way. If I is equal to 5, I use a new keyword now, introducing it to you a new keyword, continue. Okay. If I is equal to 5, you continue, else print I, and then you increment. So every time when you say that, let us check what will happen when we use continue and all. Let me keep I is equal to I plus 1. Let's check the output, what will happen. Okay. Where exactly continue is used and how it will be working. I am saving it. So it's also infinite loop. It's also infinite loop. Let me just stop it and write this one here. So this is how I am writing. I is equal to I plus 1. Okay. Now let us save it. Clear. It's also infinite loop. It's also infinite loop. So what could be continue? So even though I have written I is equal to I plus 1, why still it is infinite loop? I is equal to I plus 1, I did not keep in any condition. You
That
see?
maybe
Yes, tell me.
so maybe because continue this up this function is taking the cursor to out of the while loop only.
Yes. So continue indicates that whenever a control sees continue, it immediately comes to this line. Let me show you on board so that you will understand why continue is useless sometimes in while loop. Okay, so let me show you this one. So if I'm writing something like I is equal to 1 and n is equal to 10, so I'm writing like this, right? While I less than or equal to n, I'm coming here and writing if, what is the condition that we have written? I is equal to 5, right? Then I'm saying continue, else print I So outside the conditions, I have written I is equal to I plus 1. So until 4, everything is fine. It will come here, print 1, I is equal to I plus 1. Next come here, print 2, I is equal to I plus 1. Fine. If I is equal to 5, now what happens is, if it sees continue is a statement, that it doesn't proceed with the other programming instructions. Instead, it again sends it here. So what is I? 5. 5 is less than n. Again coming inside, it will check I is equal to 5. So it enters inside, sees continue, again it goes up and sees that still I is equal to 5, which is less than or equal to 10, comes down. If I is equal to 5, yes, it enters, sees continue, it is an infinite loop. I hope you understand, right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is continue actually. This is what continue is. Then I want to come back to for loops, whether continue will be used in for loops or not. Let me execute the same program using for loop. Carefully observe. Uh, I will write the same thing, but this time I only give n is equal to 10, because in for loop the advantage is that we can give a range directly. So for number in range, so I can give 1, 2. If I give n, that it will only print 1 to 9. So I want 1 to 10. So it will be n plus 1. So up to 10, sorry, up to 11 it will print. That means 1 to 10 it will print. So I'm writing the for loop. And in this for loop, I write the same condition. If number, without any confusion, but I prefer number to be like this, but I will give I for your understanding. So because you follow the same notation, so you can understand. If I is equal to 5, continue, else print I. So I. Shall we see whether it will execute or not? Let me put it in quotes. This one I am now executing only for loop. So what I have written, n is equal to 10, and for I in range 1 to 11, that means up to 11 I need to print. If I is equal to 5, I said continue, else print I. Now let us see whether my dream output will come or not. Oh, I did not save it. That's what I'm wondering. Okay. Yes. Right. What has happened here? What output you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 has been skipped. 6, 7,
6,
8,
7,
9, 10.
9, 10.
Now I wonder what could be happening with continue between while and for loop. Can anybody guess this? The continuous thing for loop is also same. Yeah, I write the same thing here. You see, I write the for loop also, this time in yellow color,
So
and is equal to 10. 1 second. For I in range, okay, 1 to n plus 1 colon. The same thing I write. If I is equal to 5, continue, else print I. Right? Okay. Now, this statement, if it has seen it, definitely it will immediately go to this one. Does something here, like as if I have explained in while, come back, check if I is equal to 5 or not. If it is not 5, it comes here. Otherwise, it enters here. For both cases, if it sees continue, it goes to this statements. Now, what could be happening in while? Why continue is not working properly? What could be happening in for? Why continue is working properly according to our expected thing? Now, based on this, you will now understand where to use continue and how to use continue. Can anybody guess?
In
For
for,
loop,
Due
it will
to the
increment
range.
automatically, sir, without
yes,
any
sir. I is getting incremented automatically.
automatically.
Yes. So one thing you need to remember that in for loop, we expect the statement like this: I in range 1 to n plus 1. This is what's right. So this same statement can be interpreted in C programming like this. So I will say I is initialized with 1. So I is equal to 1. And I is compared whether it is less than n plus 1. Okay. So I less than n plus 1. That means I should be less than 11. And I is equal to I plus 1. So this entire statement is equal to this one. So I have clearly said, if this is the case, you see, if I is equal to 5, then I said continue, else, so no semicolon, else what I said, print I. So if this is the case, you see first initially how it comes, it will check I is equal to 1 and now go to the condition. These are the numbers I have already given to you, right? What are the steps that it will execute? Next, it will check whether I is less than or equal to n plus 1. Now come inside, check if I is equal to 5. If I is not equal to 5, then go to else part, print it. So 1 will be printed. Next, it comes here, then increments I is equal to I plus 1. Then check whether I is less than or equal to n plus 1. Goes inside, check whether I is equal to 5 or not. Because it's not 5, it comes to else part, print 2. And in the same way, it will print 3, 4. And after printing 4, when it comes here, now I will be 5 because increment is done. I is less than n plus 1 definitely because 5 is less than 11. Goes inside, it sees if I is equal to 5. Yes, it is correct. Now this statement has been seen by the controller. What it will do? It will go to this. When it goes to this, what is the next step that it is doing immediately? Tell me, I'm asking you. Anybody? When it sees continue, it goes to this, and what is the first step it is doing?
Incrementing to next.
Incrementing. So incrementing in the sense that I will be becoming 6 this time. So now I6 is compared to, as it is right. Now again compare whether I is equal to 5 or not. So it is not 5 because I is already turned to 6. Now it will come else part and now it will print 6. This is possible in for loop because increment is done in this area itself. You are not writing increment separately. So when continue is done, it will come here, first increment and then check. Then what is with while loop? See clearly. In while loop, the thing is that when you go here, there is no increment or no initializations. You only find a condition. That's all. So this is the reason it is going for infinite loop because I is never incremented in this case. In both the cases, the continue is pushing the controller to the loop statement. Okay, but in for loop, when it comes to the loop statements, it understands first I need to increment and check the condition. But in while loop, when the controller comes to loop statements, it don't know whether he has to increment or not because we did not give any instruction here. We only have one instruction is to compare something
It's
with
3
something.
o'clock.
If this is the case, because there is no increment and every time controller is pushed to the loop statement, now I will always remain 5. Now, I think, have you understood continue, or is there any confusion with you? What is continue? What is the basic function of continue initially? When controller sees it, what the controller has to do?
Divert it to the loop
Skip that.
statement.
Yes, it
Skip.
directly be pushed to the loop statement. When it is going to the loop statement, for loop, the first thing it sees is to increment and compare. But it directly push it to the while loop statement. The first thing it sees is to only compare. So it continues with infinite loop. Okay. So this is what the continue is.
Sir,
Yes, yes.
కంటిన్యూ ప్లేస్ లో ప్రింట్ ఆఫ్ అని బ్రాకెట్ ఖాళీగా ఉంచిస్తే
Uh, you want to pray. Okay. That can also work fine, but the problem is without giving any statements inside it, it might not accept. This is what you want to do, right?
అవును సార్.
Okay. Check out. But you see, the statement has been given, but it's a space.
ఎస్ సార్.
Okay, so that's wrong. So it's only one option called continue, but continue should be used carefully based on its understanding. So if you understand continue, you will now understand if there is any part and anywhere that you want to use continue, then you should be understanding if you need increment or not. If you want increment, you have to use definitely a for loop. If you don't want increment, you can use a while loop. Okay. So there are different aspects of writing a program. We can write the program in many ways, but the thing is that you need to understand which statement works properly at what level. So మనకి సైకలాజికల్ డాక్టర్స్ చెప్తూ ఉంటారు, ఎవ్రీ చైల్డ్ ఈజ్ ఇంటెలిజెంట్ ఇన్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ రైట్. Why they say is because nobody is actually a fool in this on this earth. But a fish cannot walk on the road, and a human cannot continuously dive without any protection on the sea. Okay, a fish cannot climb a tree. Actually, you cannot actually live like a fish in the sea. So the same thing happens in the program also. You cannot push every statement to be working out at every scenario. ప్రతి సినారియోలోనూ ప్రతి స్టేట్మెంట్ వర్క్ అవ్వదు. ఎవ్రీ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఈజ్ లీగల్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ అంటిల్ అన్లెస్ యూ రైట్ ఎ స్పెల్లింగ్ మిస్టేక్. Continue has its own meaning, but if you use continue in some other level where it is not applicable, అది applicable కాని చోట వాడితే the continue might give you a wrong answer or an erroneous statement. But if you use it correctly, then it will produce highlights. You will get your expected output. I hope you understand what is a continue statement. I hope so. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Still you practice with some other things so that you produce your own problem and you understand what is exactly continue. Okay. Still, because we have many problems to do, later on you will understand where you will use continue. But for practicing, you generate your own problem statements for where to use continue. Next, I will introduce to you a break statement, which might work probably for both. So my output should be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And when it sees 5, it should end printing it. When it sees 5, it should end printing it by coming outside. Can anybody tell me how to do that? The while loop should also not execute. That's what I'm saying. The while loop should break down. Break down. So I already given a hint that there is a statement called break. Can you tell me?
If
Yes.
I equal to 5, then break, come out of the
Okay.
loop and
That's right.
increment I to I plus 1.
Okay. Right. Uh, while, sorry, I need to initialize, right? I is equal to 1 and n is equal to 10. While I
I
is
less than I.
if I is equal to 5, you are saying,
break,
okay. If
come out
not,
of the loop,
bring I
increment I to I plus 1.
plus 1. This is what you want to say.
Yes.
So can anybody tell me whether it is right or not? Just observe the statement. Let us execute this so that you will understand. Clear? Yes. Finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it has been broken down. Okay. So let me explain what happens with break. So I'll write the same statements for this. So I is equal to 1, n is equal to 10. So while I less than or equal to n, this is what I have written. If I is equal to 5, I ganaka 5 aite, then you are saying break. Okay, else రాసిన రాయకపోయినా ఒకటి ring I, because whenever you see break it will go down immediately. So I is equal to 7. ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడైనా పెట్టచ్చు మనం I is equal to I plus 1. Whether you keep it here or here, it is not a matter, because when it sees 5 there is nothing to do, it immediately needs to come down. So what exactly happens to break statement? When controller sees break statement, it comes down, it breaks out from the while loop, it comes down to the next statements. What is the difference between continue and this? If it sees continue, it pushes the controller to the loop statement. But when it sees break, it pushes the controller outside the loop and asks it to execute other instructions. Have you understood the difference now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, what about Agarwal? I am always confident that if Agarwal understands, at least 50% of the class will understand. Agarwal, what about you? Is she present or sleeping? Or sick like me? Agarwal, are you there? Definitely she might be sleeping a lot. Okay. Right. Shall I move forward with this? Is it okay? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So now you had some idea about, don't worry, I'm not stopping these concepts here. I will explain every time, because we have a lot of work with these loops. To even read an Excel file, we need a lot of looping concept, understandable. Now, so I am giving you a task. I have given something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and okay, fine. This is where I have. Can you print all these numbers using both while and for? So just try out this one. I am giving you a list because we have explained how to connect to the list and get it. Have you remembered? Just now in the morning also I have, sorry, in the morning, when we started the class also I have explained you how to get them. All of you try this. I will check out one random number to show it. I want it to be printed using both while and for loops. So in the previous examples, we have been printing it using ranges. So for while loop, we initialized with I is equal to 1, and we have been printing through some range of numbers. And for also, we have done it the same. Here I am giving you a list. You need to read the list one by one and print it. So earlier I have already shown you the example, how to read it and print it using for loop. Now you do it along with for loop, you also do it with while. So has anybody finished it already?
1 minute.
Okay. Oh, I see. The good part is that it is coming like our Indian flag, orange, white, and green. That's good. The colors are matching.
Got it by using while loops.
Okay. So with while loop, I just write something like this. So I'm using while loop now. Okay. So I will initialize I is equal to 0 initially because the index starts with 0. Remember that it should not be 1. Index starts with 0 in all programming languages. So now while I less than, what could be the condition if I want to read the whole list?
Length of list
N
L.
are equal to less than length of L. Sir.
Yes. So here the main measure for us is it should be less than length of L. That means this is the zeroth element, first element, second element, third element, and fourth element. The total length is 5. So we are printing L of 0, L of 1, L of 2, L of 3, and L of 4. So our I value should be less than 5. Okay. So here my I is nothing but index. So I will write index so there will be no confusion. And this is also index. Okay. I think this keyword is already there. That's the reason it's showing. So I will give ind. Okay. For index, I will give ind. So ind should be less than or equal to length of L. Simple thing I do is print ind of sorry L of ind. Okay, so I print L of ind. So L of 0, L of 1, L of 2, L of 3, L of 4. So all values will be printed. If you are calling with an index, the value that is present in that index in the list L will be printed. So remember, this is the format. So L is the list. Okay, here in wherever you are writing L of I and D, it is nothing but L is the list and ind is the index. So you are simply saying that list of its index that will give you exactly the value in that particular index of that particular list. So after print L of ind, now the next thing that you write is I is equal to sorry, it should be indentation, right? I is equal to I plus 1. So every time I am incrementing the index and printing that L of index. Okay, let me check out whether it will be printing or not. Had some problem. What is that? After while, okay.
Indian
I
Royal
is
sir.
not different.
Ind. Instead of ind, I'm writing it. Okay, clear. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the elements in the list has been printed. So the same thing what I can do, I can simply say, if I say print L, it will also print, but what could be the output of this print L?
Last element of the list.
No, 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 no.
It'll
Whole
print all the, it'll
horizontal
print
way.
all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Horizontal.
print. What is the format that it will print?
It'll print
Same
in
as you have written.
same as you have input.
Yes,
Horizontal order.
correct. You see, this is a horizontal representation, but it will also give you the brackets along with this. You can see here how it has printed. So this is how you can print. And there is other way that you can also print in between the numbers that I have shown you earlier already. So if I say 1 is to 4, what is the output with this?
2, 3,
2
4,
to
5.
5.
So I am clearly saying I will start at index 1 and end at index 3 because this is up to. Okay. So what is this? 1, 2, 3. Right? So only 2, 3, 4 will be printed. Let me check out. Okay. I hope you understand that 2, 3, 4 has only been printed. Can we do it in the while loop the same way? I think we just change it here from 1, and what is that I want to give here? 4. So అంటే ఇంత కష్టపడేదానికి instead of writing all the statements, we have also been given a provision like this. But if you want to be printed, if you want the output to be printed in a vertical manner, then this is more eligible code for you using a while loop. If you want to print it in horizontal and along with brackets, this is the most eligible statement for you to print it. This is an alternative one that you can print. Have you understood now? Now, I got something like, if I want to print instead of vertical, so మనకి ముందు ఎలా వచ్చింది output? We got it like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what I got. In the next statements, I got like this 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. No, I don't want these all outputs, but I want like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How to get it done? So this is a vertical representation. The same thing I want to give it in a horizontal representation. How could I bring it? Without any brackets, I want a horizontal representation. It indicates that these statements are not possible anyway. So I will mask these statements. Okay. Now I need to change something here. How can I change it? I want a horizontal representation, side by side. Actually, by default, when you are printing in Python, you are having next line every time. మనకి C లో అయితే వేరేగా రాయాలి, న్యూ లైన్ అని క్లియర్గా చెప్పాలి. In Python 2.x, this should be the common case. When you are writing directly print, it will not go to the next line, but it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 directly. But in Python 3.x, they have completely changed it. If you are writing print, it will be printed in vertical order using next line. But you need to use something else called end is equal to this one. If you write it like this after comma, so whatever value that you are printing, and after that you are clearly mentioning don't go to the next line and give only space. So by default it will go to next line, but if you clearly give and is not next line but a space, then it will take it into consideration. Let me test it. Save, clear. I have written something. Okay, I did not give it inside the quotes. Okay. Okay. So I think I have changed this one. So I need to go with one and okay. So I want all the numbers, right? So I will give length of L. Save it here. Print. So have we got the output as we expected? Yes or no? What did I do for that? I'm getting what I expected, right? See, this is what I want. I expect 4, 5, and I got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what has been done for that? The simple addition is after comma, so value that you are trying to print, and after comma, you are getting end. So if I remove space, what will happen? Let us check out. If I remove space for this, what will happen? See what has happened? Without
No
any
space
space,
between
the
them.
entire number has been printed. So you are telling don't give space, don't give next line, but you continuously print it. And if you remove this end, if you remove this end is equal to the double quotes, it understands that after printing a value, please go to the next line and print other value. So for every loop, first time it enters a loop, it prints a value, goes to the next line, and after the loop again repeats, it prints the value, new value into the new line, and again go to the next line. After the loop repeats, it now prints the new value into the new line. This is what happening. But now using this comma and writing end is equal to double quotes like this, I'm clearly specifying it. Don't go to the new line after printing the value, but instead of new line, you give a space. So next time it repeats a loop, it will stay in the same line and print the new value and again give a space. So that is the reason you're getting all the values within each thing. I hope you understood it. I am now giving a next task to you. I want to print 1, 2, 3, 3, next 1, 2, 3, next 1, 2, 3. Can you get this output for me? The same output. Like it shows me like 3 by 3 matrix. Don't do it, but somebody
Yes.
tell me what could be the logic
They're
behind.
using nested loops.
Yeah, loop.
That's correct. The nested loops that you have already encountered in Raptor tool. Have you done it or not? For reading the metrics and multiplying,
Yes, sir.
metrics, we have done that. But here I'm not talking about metrics. I want to print it like this. Can somebody try out using nested loops, using for or something? First, do it using for. Then you can go for while loop. So in the earlier example, I have not done using for loops because at the start of the class, I have done using for loops, reading Kranti, Saurat, Vivian, some names, Shreya, Vishnu, somebody. The same way you can read all numbers and everything. So I have two tasks today. One task is to print this one using nested loop. Only printing I want. And the other task is given a list n, which I have just written, you can see the screen. You need to print only the even numbers, but the clause is you need to use continue statement for this. No other logic, only continue statement. Now you need to think how to use continue to print only even numbers among the list. So you need to read all the numbers in the list, but you need to only print even numbers. But continue statement is must in your program. So what I will do is tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will ask you to upload these two programs as a file in our glearn or something. Let me try out. If they accept text file, that will be very fine for me. Let me think about it. Because I will write a program in Python that checks all your files whether the continue statement is there or not, correctly used or not. If it is not used, then it will give you a wrong. It will give me that this file is not giving a continue statement. It did not followed what you instructed. So I will write that Python program which reads all your files to check whether you have followed my instruction or not. Okay. So second one is very easy anyway. First one you need to try. The nested file.
Got it, sir. Hello.
Yes, I have heard you.
Yeah, okay. Sir.
Okay. Let me show you how we can do it so that people can follow. So I want that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So what I will do is I will give something like this. So I will start with 1, 2, 3, right? So for I in range 1, 2, that number up to 3, right? So I need to go, sorry, up to 4, so that you will have 1, 2, 3 to be printed. This is one loop. Because this loop actually follows, as I have already explained in matrix, that it now thinks about 3 rows. I'm not printing a number actually. It now thinks about 3 rows. So this is the loop thinking about rows. Okay. So it is for rows. Okay. Then already make matrix lo Japan. You should be remembering that. First we think about how many rows it should be there, and now for each column I need to print the number. For that, another thing. So for j in range 1 comma 4, so this is actually for columns, and in each column I need to print the number directly, right? So for that, what I will do, print j, what I need to do, because it needs to print side by side, right?
Comma and
Yes, comma, and is equal to this one. So now this is the statement that actually prints all 1, 2, 3 side by side. This is one row. When the loop repeats and comes here, I need to come to the second row and print again 1, 2, 3. So before I need to come to the second row, if I use this statement, what will happen is, it will, if I don't give anything, what could be the output that will come? If I do the same thing like this, can anybody guess?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It will be all
Yeah,
in the same row.
yeah, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct. Let me check out. Save. See how it has come?
Yes, sir.
Actually, it came to, what is this? I have, previously I did not
Sir,
mask.
you said that from
I
this
did
thing you
not
have to
mask
write it.
this one. That is the reason. Okay, now right. Yeah, now let me clear and check out. Yeah, you see why it is coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What has
Sir, for that, sir, after I keep another this thing, sir. Print, only print you have to write it, sir. It will be solved.
No, actually, this 1, 2, 3,
Sir, save it,
1,
save
2,
it,
3.
save it.
I saved it actually. I had something else that it is printing, I think. No. Haven't I saved it? Okay, let me save it again. Let me save it again.
No,
Okay.
sir, it will not work, sir. Like sir, can you allow me to share the screen, sir?
No, wait. So actually, this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 has been given all the time. Now I want some logic so that if 1, 2, 3 in one row has been printed, for the next row, now it has to go to the next line where I need to keep and how I need to keep.
Sir, at line 117, you have to write print, only print, sir.
So initially itself you are writing print before printing the first row itself, Vivian.
But for me, it worked, sir. Doing that thing.
No, it works. But the problem is, before printing the row itself, you are going to the first line. Did you understand?
Okay. The first line will be space.
Yes. Now, where to keep in such a way that first I want to print the row 1, 2, 3, then I need to go to the next line. Is it here or here?
Then it should, yes, sir, 120.
Outside the nested for loop.
Yes. This is
120.
only for row. Before going to the next row, I need to go to the next line. So it should be outside this nested for. So clearly understand, after printing 1, 2, 3 in one row, I need to go to next line and then go to the next loop to print 1, 2, 3 in the next line. So for that, after printing a row, now I need to go to the next line. So this is the next line I'm going through. Okay, after going to the next line, I go to the loop. So this time I will be 2. So you are entering the next row, that is the second row, and now you are printing all 1, 2, 3 in the second row, coming to the next line, and then you increment I to 3. That means now you are in the third row, print all 1, 2, 3, go to the next line and end the program. Okay, so you need to carefully observe where you are keeping this print. So after printing this, to come to the next line, I want to put it like this. But what happens if I do it this one? If I put print in the nested for loop, what will happen now?
It will be 1, 2, 3 in vertical manner.
Yes, let me see. Let me see. Uh, I will just show you this execution. See what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 has been printed clearly. Okay, this is how it has been printed. So for that, I am removing it from the nested loop and keeping in the main loop. That means before looping, you go to the next line. Let me see it. I did not save it, I think. Save. Clear. Yes, I hope we got what we expected. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Understood, all of you?
Sir?
Yes.
Why should we add an extra print, sir?
Yes, sir, same doubt.
It should automatically.
Increment, yes, sir.
So you are saying that without this one, you want that it will go directly to the next line.
Yes, it should go now, sir, like directly.
Because I is getting incremented.
Exactly, sir.
Why it is not doing that? So are you relating that I value to the next lines?
Okay, so by default, incrementing doesn't mean going to the next line.
See, incrementing is with memory. Printing is with screen. Are you understanding? Printing is with the appearance. Have you understood? Incrementing is with the memory. Understood?
Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You are incrementing the value of I to see how many rows should be printed. But it doesn't know the position. It only knows the memory. It is counting, okay, I have already printed first row. I have already printed second row. I have already printed third row. But it doesn't know where it has printed. It only knows to count that I have printed 3 rows or not. To make sure that the expected outcome should come, the print helps us a lot. This print only takes care about at what part of the screen these numbers should be printed. Did you understand? Yes?
So what
See,
function is
see,
this print doing at?
yeah. See, one thing is, take your real life as an example. If, for example, you want to see, మనం గుడి చుట్టూ తిరుగుతూ ఉంటాం. Sometimes pradakshina, 108 times pradakshina will be there for Hindus generally.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you stand at one point of time and you are in your mind you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 108. Are you walking or just counting?
We're just counting.
Counting, but walking.
Just counting.
Okay, so people you are showing to the people that I'm walking 108 times. Walking is a display, so that is the output actually, right? So the counting is with your mind and your memory, that is entirely virtual, and whatever that you are outputting is the walk that you are doing entire around the temple 108 times. The same thing here, you're counting how many rows you need to print, but print's main thing is to display it onto the screen exactly on what you expected. Now have you understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody is
Thank
asking.
you.
Somebody is asking in the middle. I'm stopping them. Some male voice I have heard in between. I said, okay, 1 second, and I'm continuing with my explanation. Is this related to this or any other doubt?
Yes, sir, related to this only, I have doubt. What is this print doing in line number 119? Like, what is its function?
Yeah, that's what I explained, I think now.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So it's going for the next line. Actually, if you don't write end, by default, after printing one, it will go to next line 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. But for a single row, I am telling all the numbers should be side by side. For different rows, they should be vertical order. For this, I am doing this one. You can write this program, observe again and again. If you don't understand, then you will slowly understand yourself. Okay. Okay. Let me take it as a print so that you will understand. So maybe if you got doubt, there are many people who do not speak, but they will get it. Okay. Okay. Right. So let me just take into consideration. Now, in mind, you will have one initially. Then I think that I am in the first row. Okay, I am in the first row. So I am talking about rows. Okay, row is in 1. Then I'm coming to J. J is equal to 1. So I'm having colon 1. Okay, colon 1. Now, after that, what I'm doing, I'm coming to this statement, print J and end. So what I will do is, this loop will repeat for 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So for one row, I have repetition of 1, 2, 3 for J. So this we have kept as J, this we have kept as I. So when I is equal to 1, I have J as 1, 2, 3. Every time I J is 1, 2, 3, I just print first. So first initially J is equal to 1, check the condition, comes and prints 1. Next it goes to this, okay, checks the condition, increment it and checks the condition, and print comes to this inside and print 2, because every time I'm giving space. After that my cursor blinks here. Okay, now next checks this 3 and prints 3 here. Right. So after this, the loop has ended because it has already written 3 times. Now, after that, it comes to the statement, print this one. It indicates the next line. So it will go to the next line. Now the cursor blinks here. That's all. Now, after this statement is over, it comes again to this for loop. Now I will be incremented and check the condition whether I is less than 4. Yes, now I is equal to 2. That means the row is second row. This is memory. Okay. And coming to this, the for I is equal to, so J will be 1 again, and 1 will be printed. After that, the space will be given. Next, the cursor blinks here. Next, it again repeats. This time J will be incremented to 2. So 2 will be printed because space is there. Cursor will be going after space. Next 3, and next 3 will be printed. After ending the loop, again you come back and say print. Next line. You come to here and you say 1. 1 minute. Then class lo unnu. Okay, right. So after that, the cursor comes here. Now, again, the same thing repeats, and this is the way that actually it prints, and finally it actually blinks the cursor here. But the reason is we are ending the program here. We do not see whether the cursor is blinking here or not. Okay. So that is the reason you can clearly observe in this thing that Kranti has come here actually. In the previous example, have you observed that when I'm writing this one, the Kranti doesn't come to the next line. Let me view this one for your benefit so that you will understand these two. I'll just mask it. Okay, I'm running this statement. Let's see. Save it. So have you seen here? it actually says after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that has been read from the list. Okay, I will clear it and yeah, you see, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the previous statements, it continues with 1, 2, 3, next 1, 2, 3, and next 1, 2, 3. Here it is all fine. See why it is continuing like that? What is that we are missing? Can you modify the program in such a way that I need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the next first line, next 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3.
Print.
How? Yes, how to modify after these statements so that the 1, 2, 3 should get down? After every print, it is not going to the next line because this end is equal to a space. So after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also, it is expecting something that is printing that continues after this. So can you just give me a modification in such a way that after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what happened? Why it has come to this? One second. Okay, right. Any modification from your side?
Print.
Yes, only print. Only print. Now let us see what will happen. Let me save it. Python 3 while.py. See, now as if we expected it came. First it read that list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have come to the next line because of this print, and then our particular next program has executed with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. I hope you understand what is the importance of going to the next line and going with the same line. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you practice today for this particular problem and do the next task also, task 2, printing even numbers using continuous statement.
They're done.
Okay. Right. I think now I can take some rest for myself. So then bye-bye everybody. So if you have any doubt, we can discuss tomorrow. Please practice for today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.